A mouth opens in the prairie sand, and it is not a mouth at all. It is a promise of physics, a perfectly engineered trap waiting for a single misstep. Late afternoon settles over the prairie verge. A warm breeze stirs the grass, carrying the faint, sweet scent of sun-baked wood. Here, a weathered board rests on the ground, and as a hand lifts one edge, a sliver of light pierces a shallow dimple in the sand. Within it, a creature stirs, moving backward. This is Dune, an antlion larva, and its life is governed by a single, elegant principle: build, not chase. Despite its fierce name, the antlion is merely the juvenile form of a delicate, lacewing-like insect. As an adult, it will drift through the twilight, a fragile echo of a dragonfly. But here, in the sand, it is a master architect. Locals call it a doodlebug for the spiraling, scribbled tracks it leaves in the dust. These are not random doodles, they are meticulous surveys. With each backward step, Dune is testing the world beneath it, sampling the grain size, the dryness, the angle of the sun. It is searching for the perfect canvas, fine, dry sand that promises to crumble on command. It seeks a sheltered pocket, a place where rain will not clump the grains into mud, and wind will not erase its work. Why sprint after prey when the unyielding force of gravity can bring dinner to you? Look closer at this miniature engineer. Dune is small, its back protected by tough, segmented armor. Its head is a broad, flat shovel, armed with a pair of formidable, sickle-shaped jaws. These mandibles interlock perfectly, but they are not for chewing. They are hollow, a pair of hypodermic needles designed first to inject paralyzing digestive juices and then to sip the liquefied prey. It hunts almost entirely by feel, reading the footfalls of insects as vibrations traveling through the sand with startling precision. Should a victim blunder into range, Dune can use its powerful head to flick sand with explosive force, making the treacherous slope of its trap nearly impossible to escape. Patience is its greatest weapon. It can survive for weeks, sometimes months, without a single meal, slowing its body's needs to a near standstill until the ground delivers its next victim. This larval stage, a masterclass in waiting, can last anywhere from 1 to 3 years, depending on the species and the climate. Only then will it spin a silken cocoon encrusted with sand and emerge as an ethereal adult that bears almost no resemblance to the patient predator below. In an age obsessed with speed and relentless action, Dune's method reveals the profound power of preparation. It is a testament to intelligent design, simple physics, careful site selection, and the conservation of energy. Engineers study creatures like this for inspiration in passive design, from erosion control to low-power sensor technology. Even in our own backyards, these tiny builders offer a quiet lesson in how ecosystems function, built on a foundation of seemingly small choices. The prairie is not empty, it is a workshop of silent, intricate processes. Dune pauses. The spinal stops where the grains flow just so. The perfect location has been found. In the moments to come, we will watch as this patient hunter turns bare sand and gravity into a flawless, working trap. In the heat-softened sand, a tiny earth mover begins its work, tracing a circle in reverse. As Dune shuffles in ever-widening arcs, you can almost hear the soft tick of grains shifting against its body. Each movement is deliberate, a 3-part motion of anchor, heave, and slide. Now the design truly reveals itself. With a crisp snap of its head, Dune flicks a shower of sand up and away. It is not just digging a hole. It is sculpting, steepening the walls to the precise angle of repose, that perfect, critical slope where loose sand is perpetually on the verge of collapse. Its backward motion keeps those formidable jaws aimed at the center of the pit, while its body acts as an efficient shovel. The choice of ground is paramount. A sheltered, dry patch where grass muffles the wind and an overhang softens the rain, keeps the grains loose and the pit's walls slick. Fine, uniform sand is ideal. Damp or mixed grains lock together, refusing to slide. A fallen leaf can serve as a roof, a gnarled root as a windbreak. With every backward shuffle, Dune tests the slope, its body covered in sensitive hairs that feel the tiniest avalanches. If a wall slumps or compacts, another volley of sand flies, restoring the critical angle. How does a creature with no tools measure its world with the precision of an engineer? Its short legs end in specialized hooks that anchor its body, allowing the wide thorax to drive grains backward without tumbling forward. The work is a model of economy. This is a sit-and-wait predator that invests its energy once in construction, then reaps the rewards many times over. The cone-shaped pit funnels all motion toward the center, where the jaws lie in wait. The larva's only job is to maintain the slope and let physics do the hunting. When a stray raindrop collapses a wall or a careless boot print wrecks the rim, Dune simply resets, rebuilding a functional pit in minutes. The method is modular: circle, flick, smooth, repeat. Those same head flicks that shape the cone become weapons, pelting climbing prey with sand, triggering another small slide, making the very design of the trap an active defense against escape. This is not just a beautiful act of natural engineering, it is a timely one. As our climate changes, with longer dry spells and more intense rains, tiny engineers like Dune demonstrate how microhabitats can buffer against extremes. Scientists study the flow of granular materials by observing these pits, because the same rules that govern this tiny cone also shape sand dunes, river embankments, and the geological hazards tied to them. Suddenly, a wandering ant reaches the rim, and the walls of the pit answer with motion. In a heartbeat, a calm bowl of sand becomes a treacherous sliding floor. The ant's antennae taste the air, its feet tap the edge, and the ground itself gives way, hissing as it carries the insect downward. Buried just beneath the surface, Dune senses that first slip. It erupts into action, peppering the slope with rapid bursts of sand. Each flick loosens more grains, steepening the angle, ensuring nothing can find a foothold. One stumble builds into helpless momentum, drawing the victim inexorably toward the center. Dune's curved mandibles are the only part of it visible, rising from the sand like twin daggers. Its body, studded with stout hairs, remains anchored against the slide. It uses its head and neck as a catapult, sending stinging grains into the ant's face to blind and unbalance it. Coarse sand earns deep, powerful scoops. Fine sand gets fast, peppery bursts. Every kick from the struggling prey only strengthens the downward flow that Dune controls. When the jaws strike, they pierce a joint or the soft tissue under the ant's head. Digestive enzymes flood the victim's body, paralyzing it and rapidly liquefying its tissues from the inside out. The antlion sips this broth through the narrow, hollow canals of its mandibles, a model of tidy efficiency. The pit is not only a trap, it is a sophisticated sensor. A network of sensitive organs reads the faint tremors in the substrate, distinguishing the footfall of an ant from the whisper of the wind, the heavy gait of a beetle from the light dance of a spider. How do you ambush a creature you cannot see? You let the ground speak for you, and you learn to listen through sand. Today, this ultra-sensitive detection inspires engineers building soft robotics and seismic monitors. It matters because these pits appear in our own world, in backyards, parks, and schoolyards, a real-world lesson in physics. If the prey claws its way upward, Dune edits the slope on the fly, flinging grains to erase its steps. When the bite lands, Dune often drags its victim slightly under the sand, hiding the meal from thieves and the scorching sun. Its slow metabolism means every capture is precious. As dusk settles, a silent bowl in the prairie waits like a held breath. Under the sand, the antlion larva has turned its low-fuel existence into a lifestyle. The sand is its camouflage, its insulation, and a shield against dehydration. When prey is scarce, it can slow its metabolism to a crawl, surviving for many months without eating. It even stores nearly all its solid waste until metamorphosis, keeping its body light and conserving precious fluid. If the footfalls signal a creature too large or too dangerous, a formidable beetle, a stinging wasp, it remains perfectly still. If a long-term drought sours the microclimate, Dune will relocate, backing out of its pit and doodling its way across the ground in search of a better home. This incredible patience holds a lesson for our time. As shifting weather patterns disrupt insect life across the globe, these pit builders serve as indicators of ecosystem health. They show us how animals adapt to and engineer their environments, providing insights that guide conservation and robotics. But patience is only half the story. As the seasons turn, a new, ancient drive will push Dune to do something even stranger than waiting. Twilight deepens over the prairie. Where the pit once was, there is now a tiny, unassuming dome of sand. It looks like nothing, a slight swelling in the earth. But press gently, and the surface yields. It is silk, flexing under the grains. Inside this capsule, the antlion larva has spun a cocoon, not just from the silk produced in its gut, but from the very sand that was once its weapon. The shelter wears the prairie like a cloak. Weeks pass in silence. Then, after a brief rain on a warm night, the dome trembles. A circular lid lifts, and a pale, transformed creature pushes its way into the open air. Its wings are crumpled and wet, its antennae long and tipped with small clubs. A clear sign this is no dragonfly. Slowly, fluid pumps through the veins of the wings, inflating them. The night air dries them, hardening them for flight. The ruthless excavator of the sand has vanished. In its place is a creature of the dusk. The adult antlion holds its long, lace-veined wings like a tent over its body. Its flight is wavering, almost hesitant, a series of brief flutters and unsteady glides. The fearsome jaws are gone. Many adults feed lightly on nectar or dew. Some do not feed at all. Their new purpose is not to hunt, but to find a mate and disperse, continuing the cycle. Their winged life is short, often lasting only a few weeks. This is the ancient bargain of metamorphosis. Different life stages for different jobs, ensuring the young do not compete with the adults. This transformation matters now, in a world where our nights are no longer dark. Artificial lights draw nocturnal insects like these off their ancient flight paths, concentrating them, draining the slender energy reserves an adult antlion relies on. Yet that same glow brings them into our world, offering a moment of discovery on a screen door or a window pane. When you see one, you are witnessing the final, fleeting chapter of a journey that began with a doodle in the dust. At first light, the air is cool and pale. The tiny cones of the antlion pits stipple a patch of open ground, each rim crisp, each hollow still. A cluster of these pits tells a story. It says this ground is dry, sandy, and stable. It is a landmark in the insect world. Roaming ants learn to tread more carefully here, their foraging routes bending around these zones of danger. Each pit is a small but powerful force, a lesson in physics written in sand. From the patient larva waiting below, to the delicate adult drifting through the night, the antlion's life is a marvel of adaptation and design. It is a reminder that even in the most familiar of places, there are extraordinary stories unfolding, right beneath our feet. Of all the remarkable traits of this miniature master of the prairie, from its seismic senses to its sand-glued cocoon, which one stands out the most to you? Let us know in the comments what part of this hidden world you found most fascinating.